All right. Hello, people. We are live, and we are live with Bruce. Try and see. Pretty sure it tells me on there somewhere how many people are in here.
Well, right now you're not live yet.
Oh, that's right. See how long the delay is.
It's about 45 seconds.
Well, we can tell here.
Yeah.
Yep. We're past 30.
We're
at 38 seconds. 40.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're live.
43 seconds.
Yeah, I told you it's about a 45-second delay.
Cut that off so there's no feedback. Wow, like a 43-second delay.
Yeah, give us plenty of time to blank out and beep out all those dirty words.
You should have a problem with me, but.
Hey, Deadwood.
Man, ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah, he's been here
since our last live stream.
Well, he wasn't at the last one.
Adventures with PC Wallbag.
Yeah.
Howdy. Yeah. Hey, we finally figured it out. We got our special guest Bruce tonight. I think y'all are going to enjoy Bruce. So, Bruce, I know there's only a few people in here, but introduce yourself. Kind of go over your background quickly as far as your work life and stuff like that.
Okay, my name is Bruce Filbert. Graduated high school, joined the Army. Not a whole lot of use for artillery in the private sector. So I joined the union and became an industrial service technician, specializing in commercial industrial HVAC for Carrier Corporation. Mainly worked on HVAC, hydraulics, hydronics, pneumatics, and electronics. And I retired September 9th of 2020. And my wife was a nurse. She decided to go travel nursing. We hit the road in our fifth wheel, and I noticed the massive shortage of RV techs. And I mean, out in Phoenix, Arizona, it was 4 weeks to get a tech. So wow. I decided to start working on RVs, and here we are. We're living the life, right?
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did not know your wife was a travel nurse. We hadn't discussed that yet.
Yeah. Well, actually, while we were on a travel nurse contract, we met a couple that worked for a health insurance company, and they talked my wife into going to work for them. So now she just works remote from the RV.
Okay.
So anywhere we are, she just works remote. She's still a nurse, but she's a case manager for an insurance company.
Okay. So she's not hands-on anymore with patients.
No. Okay. No, not anymore.
Because I have worked for hundreds and hundreds of travel nurses in my 30-year career as a mobile RV tech. There's always been a lot of traveling nurses in our area.
Oh, absolutely.
There's more now than there used to be, but there's always been quite a few.
Yeah, they're all over the country.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome gig. I think go south in the winter and go north in summer. Yeah.
Although you had one.
In
November when we were at the hospital, and he was from down south.
Yeah.
And he came north, and it was pouring the snow, and he was in a souped up race car, and and he had to drive to work, and he wasn't liking life too much.
Right.
But he was a happy fella. He just wasn't liking the snow.
Yeah, wasn't enjoying the snow.
Hey guys, we're happy to see you all.
Jerry and Ann are in here. Laundryman Adams, man, I ain't seen you in a long time.
The Deadwood's back. Deadwood said thank you for your service, Bruce.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Can you see the chats over?
Yeah. I guess I need to. I'm new at this. I need to pay attention to them as much as I pay attention to you guys. So
you're good.
You got to multitask, man. You got to multitask.
Oh, I'm working on it.
That's hard for you men.
Yeah, it's hard for me. Women can do it naturally. It's kind of natural to them. But us guys struggle. So yeah. I did prepare.
Yeah.
I prepared last week. We just couldn't make this Restream thing work. It would not work. We figured it out Monday. Yeah, we took a little time Monday and we got it all figured out, and now here we are. So kept my paper from last week. So yeah, right now Bruce and his wife are in Arkansas.
Yep.
They've been full-time RVers for 4 years, and you've been a tech basically for that 4 years.
Yeah, been working on RVs for about 4 years.
Okay, awesome. But with your background, I figure it probably came pretty naturally to you, didn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. There was no issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to work on air conditioning chillers. I didn't work on anything under 250 tons in capacity.
Right.
So, say your air conditioner on your house is 3 to 5 tons. The smallest thing I touched was 250.
Right.
Up to 10.
Just exactly like an RV.
Yeah, exactly. And there was some difference. We did 24-volt DC or 24-volt AC on the controls when an RV is 12-volt DC on the controls. I mean, it's still the same basic refrigeration cycle and function. It's once you know the refrigeration cycle and how the components operate. I mean, it's just changing a little bit, a few things here and there, and on how it's controlled, but it's still functionally the same thing.
Right. Did you have any formal RV tech training, or just OTJ?
No, I did RVTA RV training, RVTAI.
The one in Texas.
You're online. No, the one in Elkhart, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Online course.
Yeah. Okay. Is it how long does it take to go through that course?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay.
You get your inspector in 1 week and your tech in 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. Do you do inspections?
Try not to. I've heard horror stories about those. From other techs that I know that have done them, and then the guy picks it up, drives it halfway across the country, and a receptacle doesn't work, and then he gets a bad review.
Okay.
So I don't know. I've never really had anybody call me to do one. So
yeah, I get very few calls to do inspections, and I usually try to avoid them, because what I found is, for one thing, I'm just not going to go out there and spend 6 or 7 hours doing a really thorough inspection.
Correct.
Because what happens is the few inspections that I've done, I've told the people, well, everyone I've done, I'm like, I would not buy this RV, and I tell them why. I tell them what's wrong with it and why I wouldn't buy it. And they go ahead and buy it anyway. So I don't know why they bothered to pay me to go look at it. So I just kind of don't do them either.
Yeah,
if somebody insists, I will, but I don't like it.
I mean, I guess if you do it right, you can make a good living at it. I talked to a tech a while back that he travels RV shows and does nothing but inspections. And he says he averages $1,000 per inspection, because some are 800, some are 1,200, and he does 300 a year.
Wow. Holy crap.
I don't know. I don't look at his bank account, but that's what he said.
James, AZ Expert, I think that's basically what he does now is inspections.
Yep.
And he'll fly across the country, inspect the RV, and drive it back for the people if they decide to buy it. And I think that's mostly what he's doing now. So yeah. I gotta say hi to my mom. My mom's in here. Brenda Lee's in here.
Yeah. Laundryman, we're glad that it's not line dance night today. We're glad you're here. And Jerry, I ain't taking it easy on you, dude.
Your background in HVAC, just curious. Do you do Freon? Will you add Freon to a roof air or a dash air on a motorhome?
No, I do not.
You stay away from it. Okay.
I will if it's friends or family.
Okay.
I do have ports I can put in there to recover the refrigerant if there's any in it.
Right.
There was a rash there a couple years ago of a lot of RV air conditioners coming with. They were buying the copper from foreign countries, and their standards for the thickness, the wall thickness of the copper, was less than what we were used to here. So we were getting a lot of cracks and U-bends and splits and stuff like that. And for friends and family, I would go up there, weld them up, vacuum the unit down, and then recharge it. But that's not a service that I offer to somebody that I'm going to meet one time and they're on the road. And then that thing's going to shake and vibrate with that less than ideal copper and crack 3 months from now. And you're going to go, I just paid this guy to fix it. He didn't do it right. I don't want to even get into that liability.
Right. Yeah. I've always felt the same way. I wouldn't even do them for friends and family. I'll do my own AC work on my vehicles or something if it needs charged. But yeah, as far as doing it for a customer, no, I don't. I'm not interested. So Tony and or Tanya from your friends in the RV business, they're in here. Hey guys.
Yep. And Jerry,
right.
we appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah. Thanks
Y'all-
for stopping by.
y'all take care.
Thanks for the good comments, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. I hope your dad's doing okay. So yeah. So you guys take it easy and be careful out there. Laundryman Adams says my chief engineer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Had 800 tons of coolant. Hey, there you go. You and Laundryman Adams got something in common.
Yeah, 800 tons. That's a decent machine. It's fair.
Yeah, so I can do that too. I can put it up I can highlight it.
Oh, look at you, all tech savvy.
Yeah,
yeah. He was real tech savvy the other night.
Yeah,
too,
I was real
wasn't he?
tech savvy last week.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, laundryman.
Y'all were.
Yeah, laundryman. Yeah, the 12,000 amp generator. I'm not I never went around a whole lot of that. I changed their oil and service them, but I never really got into the power part of 12,000 amp generator. That's a good. That's a beast.
That's a big generator. It's a big Jenny. I got to remember how to minimize it.
Yeah, a lot more than you need for an 800 ton chiller. So you were probably, there was a backup generator for a facility or something. So.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have anything to replace it
Yeah.
with yet.
Okay. Yeah, that was actually modern roof airs on RVs is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Because I know you've seen some older units and you've seen this newer stuff. And I think, is there not a new refrigerant like in the last 2 years? Another brand new one?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I seen something on it the other day. It's like a 545B or something like that. And then there's a new one that it's got a designation of a 600. Now the 600 is the refrigerant actually has butane in it. So you cannot weld that system to fix a leak because the refrigerant in it is flammable. All the other refrigerants were they're not flammable. Now you'll see like a Instagram video of an air conditioner on fire and blowing flames. Right. No, that's because the motor shorted out, blew out the motor terminals, and the electrical ignited the oil under pressure, like a diesel fuel heater. Okay. The only thing you get from burning refrigerants called phosgene gas. You ever get a whiff of it, it's horrible. I mean, that may be kind of what's wrong with me a little bit, is I breathe too much of that phosgene gas over the years.
Well, even like 20 years ago, I heard that like if a guy was smoking a cigarette and got some Freon and sucked it through that cigarette, it was like really, really bad.
Yeah, it creates phosgene gas.
Okay, I didn't know why it was bad, but I knew it was bad, and you didn't want to do that.
No.
So now a couple years ago, and you probably seen it too, there was videos going all over YouTube and stuff where in foreign countries, not here. Looked like it was foreign countries. Guys working on like building, commercial building roof areas, and they blow the guys plumb off the roof. Do you think that maybe in some countries they've been using butane before, or what?
Yeah, there's other countries that all that was legalized long before here.
Okay.
And and like they outlawed R-22 here, they still use it in other countries. I mean, our EPA's laws are so strict that it takes a long time. And then I don't want to get into but DuPont owns a lot of refrigerant brands. So when they spend a lot of money to come up with a new refrigerant, guess what you're going to use, even though there was nothing wrong with the old one.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been in the RV business for 30 years, and there's been many different refrigerants, and every one of them seems like it was worse than the one before.
Oh, absolutely. Like R-22 that replaced R-12, BTUs per pound, it's not as good. Yeah. 410A, it's like 20% less than what R-22 will do. And then it just keeps going down as you're going along. The best refrigerant was 134A by far.
Yeah.
And they got rid of it because it was too stable. So when it vented into the atmosphere, it'd go up and it'd eat the ozone layer.
Okay.
So, and you're going to have leaks. And legally, as an AC, I carry a Class A mechanical contractor's license in the HVAC field. I can release as much refrigerant as I feel necessary to the environment to get the job done. It's legally called de minimis amount. Whether it's 1 pound or 20 pounds, it's the minimus that I could do to get my job done. But on these new air conditioners, these 12-volt systems, I'm seeing failures from converters failing, draining the batteries, dropping the voltage, raising the amps on the compressors, and burning the compressors up.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen it on the refrigerators yet, but I'm hearing about it on refrigerators.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of bad 12-volt refrigerators. Lauren says that
her dad.
Oh, her dad.
It says my dad, but my dad worked at a distribution center with gas systems.
Well, that's what's in your, if you have an RV refrigerator, a Norcold or a Dometic, that's what it has in it.
Yeah. I remember 30 years ago when I was an apprentice, they sent me out to change out. Back then, I wasn't allowed to work on anything over 10 tons because I was an apprentice. Right. They sent me out to change out just a residential split system on a commercial building. And I just went out there and started recovering their Freon. No, it was ammonia. And I like to choke and gagged, and everybody in the building had to evacuate. And it was a bad deal.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've early in my career, when I was still working for a Steeler ship, well, we had a refrigerator that cooling unit sprung a leak, and it came inside the freezer, and I opened the freezer door and went to smell it, and my gosh, I couldn't breathe for a week.
Oh, I bet.
Horrible. Yeah, I sucked it in.
So what's with the new travel trailers going electric? Brenda Lee asked. Yeah, that's a thing. A lot of travel trailers nowadays are going mainly electric, trying to get rid of propane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see what she says. They were giving them out in Western North Carolina after Helene. The power does go out during snow and cold temps.
Yeah.
That's really sad because we're trying to keep people warm.
Yeah. So actually, are they going with electric heat and stuff?
Not that I've seen. Well, besides the fireplace, everything I've seen, at least in my area, is you still got a gas furnace.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I've seen some big diesel pushers that are all diesel fuel, but then they've got like a little 5-gallon built-in propane tank just for emergencies.
Really?
Yep. Looked at a Country Coach last year, beautiful RV, but it had a small little 5-gallon propane tank just for emergencies.
Really? I know mostly in the buses. We're not seeing it too much in travel trailers and fifth wheels and stuff, but they're doing. Um, they're getting away from gas cooktops and stuff. They're doing,
Yeah, induction cooktops.
Yeah. Brenda says they're all electric. So,
Yeah.
Brenda, if that's true, it's something that I haven't seen yet.
Must be a brand new unit.
Yeah, and there's a refrigerators and fireplaces. Well, we had a deal here in Arkansas a while back, and those FEMA trailers. They're travel trailers, kind of, sort of ish between like a hybrid between a travel trailer and a mobile home, and they're 100% electric.
Really? Are they still building FEMA units? I thought they weren't going to do FEMA campers after
Katrina.
After Katrina, I thought they weren't going to do those anymore.
I'm not sure, but the way she's talking, it sounds like they maybe, if they had a rush of manufacturing.
Yeah.
But these RVs now, I seen a living RV that it charges itself going down the road because it's got generators on its wheels.
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was at the Courtside RV show this year.
Yeah. Brenda, the FEMA units back in the day, I've done videos on them. If you want to see in depth about a FEMA unit, go check out that video. But yeah, they would just rush those things through the factory. They would have a residential refrigerator back in the day when RVs didn't have residential refrigerators. No black tank, no gray tank, no freshwater tank. But other than that, and almost
no windows,
they would usually only have 1 or 2 windows per unit. No slides. But other than that, pretty much everything else was RV. The heat and AC, water heater. But yes, there was different things about FEMA units. So
if she said it's a brand new camper, it's not a FEMA.
She said it's not a FEMA. Yeah. It was donated.
Brand new camper.
I have personally not seen one of those, but I will look into it.
Yeah,
because I don't know how you're going to heat it. Boy, that's a power draw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got that right.
Gonna heat the RV with an electric fireplace. That's not going to work.
Lauren, you need to keep the stone. Miss Hillbilly could probably. You can answer that one, Miss Hillbilly.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I hate gas cooking bunch in an RV. They always burn my pizza.
We have a gas cook stove in our house.
I love my gas.
Our electric cook stove went bad 7 or 8 years ago.
And I told Mr. Hillbilly there
I want gas. So I went and got her a gas one.
And I love my gas.
Hey Don from California.
Hey,
how
Don,
are you, bud?
long time no see.
Yeah.
I tell you, on pizza, one thing I started doing is I've got a Pit Boss pellet grill. Mm-hmm. Throw a pizza on that thing. Oh my goodness, they are the best.
Wow.
Smoked pizza.
Yeah.
We haven't gone there yet.
No, haven't gone there yet.
Doesn't mean we won't, but we haven't.
Yeah, haven't yet.
Yeah. He's already done that.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list, people. So let me read just a second.
Oh yeah, cast iron is the way to cook. If you've got an oven and it's gas or stove, and you can use your cast iron, that's all I use. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're a full-time RVer. So what RV do you own now, and why do you have the one that you have now?
I've got a Grand Design Reflection 367 BHS. The main reason is the mid-bunk office. Okay. So with my wife being in the medical field, she has to have a door she can shut for HIPAA violation, HIPAA regulations and stuff like that. And this floor plan does not take away from our living area or our bedroom area. It's kind of out of the way. It's his own slide out that gets away from us, and she can sit in there and do her own thing.
Okay.
She has her own air conditioning controls, all that in her own office. Is the reason we chose. Well, that, and it was the only mid bunk available in Arkansas when we decided to buy.
What RV did you have before the one you have now?
It was a Keystone Alpine,
Okay.
35, 36 RE.
Okay.
Absolutely loved the rig, but it was a couples coach,
Okay.
so sleep 2, entertain 6, kind of coach. And we wanted something a little bigger with an office. I mean, she can't sit here at the dinette and work with 3 computer monitors and stuff all day long. So,
Right.
but both of them have been great rigs. This Grand Design, and I mean, it's done us very well so far. And we bought it December of 2022, so we got a pretty good deal on it being a 21.
Okay.
And it's been to Milwaukee, to San Antonio, to Arizona a couple of times, California, Utah, Colorado, South. I mean, it's been all over.
Hillbilly
And
RV.
it's done really well.
Cool. What truck do you pull it with?
I've got a Ram 3500 with a Cummins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hillbilly RV WV.
I know, honey. I'm
Oh.
trying.
Okay.
I hit the Q instead of the W. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here.
Not very well.
Not very well, because I'm over top of. I'm under.
It's well, it's fine.
Yeah, don't you dare go now.
No, I'm not going to tell.
There we go. Now, there. I don't know
So
where we. Oh, and that's for you, Brenda.
Yeah.
So the Cherokee Wolf Den, that's a little bit of a smaller camper, if I remember correctly.
Wolf Den, yeah, I would say that's a small one.
I think that's a smaller one.
And maybe you can heat that with a fireplace. It ain't very big.
Yeah, I mean, our fireplace, it does a great job.
Yeah.
I actually just had to fix it because I burned a wire off the heating element the other day because it runs 24/7 right now because it's 6 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have customers that will use their electric fireplace almost exclusively, except at night. They'll run the heat because they want heat up in the bedroom or whatever in a fifth wheel.
Yeah, and then electric water heater, a 12-volt fridge, and I mean you're good to go. You don't really need propane.
Right. Yep. Oh, okay. So your wife is a traveling nurse, so I'm assuming she gets a new contract, whatever, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
13 weeks unless we decide to extend.
Okay. So when you go to a different area, how do you let people know that you're a mobile tech and you're willing to work?
Okay, so the RV park we're staying in, we let the office know.
Okay.
And I give them a business card. I've passed out a lot of business cards, and I have yet to get one call off a business card.
Really?
Wow.
90% of my work comes from the office or Google.
Really?
Set up a Google page, and then the first thing somebody's going to do when they have a problem with their RV, at least in my experience, is they're going to Google RV repair near me.
Right.
And then if they can't find anybody, they go to the office. Hey, do you know of anybody? The vast majority of my work comes from Google. And then as you go, you just change your Google address.
You do. Because I've been trying to change.
We will talk to you after this.
Definitely.
About that.
Because I've been trying to change my hours, my business hours on Google for years and have been unable.
Oh, I change mine all the time. If I've got doctor's appointments or like
Really?
Monday, I've got to watch my oldest grandson for the day. I just go into Google and I change for Monday, temporarily closed.
Really? Yeah, we'll talk afterwards. I gotta know how this works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got an email from Google that I just on my page report because I get a weekly report on how many people viewed and how many people called, a performance report. And then I just click on it, go in there, and then I just go under edit hours and I tell them You know, I'm busy Monday, so I'm temporarily closed Monday.
I've been trying to figure out how to do that for years.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stop people from calling. It's just like my hours are Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. I try to take Sundays off. It doesn't always work,
Right.
um, but I'll have people call at 8 o'clock at night and be like, "Oh crap! I didn't expect you to answer the phone. I was wanting to leave a message so I can get on your list." I was like, "No, it's fine. What's going on?" You know, phone calls are free. So
Right. Yeah.
David
Yeah.
Mayo says there's a small Coleman that's all electric, has induction cooktop and electric fireplace.
I've heard it was coming, but I have not seen one yet, David. And apparently, Bruce hasn't either.
no, I'm not seeing one, but I can see where they would be. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
you get a rig the size of mine. I'm 46 foot long. You're not going to do all electric.
No, but there are so many people that have such a fear of propane. I had no idea that there was so many people out there that had a just a tremendous fear of propane. But there are a lot of people.
Oh yeah, and then if you're going through tunnels, you got to shut it off, and yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, everybody does that, right?
Oh yeah. According to DOT, everybody does it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because you always see RVs sitting at the end of the tunnel out there cutting all their stuff off, right? And then go to the other end of the tunnel, cut it all back on.
Ed, as far as do you run in the water heater on gas or electric? Me personally, the way I do it is off electric. There's less wearable parts there. And if I'm in an RV park and I'm paying them for electric, I just assume use their electric, not my propane. But this time of year when it's this cold, our rig, one of its downfalls, it only has a 6 gallon tank, but the recovery rate is really good. So when we go to take showers, if we decide to take, sorry, spam risk. If we decide to go take a long shower, I'll throw the gas on too. So then we've got dual fuel heating it, and it's got a pretty good recovery rate to keep up. But us personally, we run on electric.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm gonna do this one first. Bossy OSHA. I'm gonna say no because I don't know if you work for OSHA.
Are we given what we do or what you should do?
Well, we don't do anything because we don't have a camper. Yeah. So,
but yeah, I have always told my customers it's okay.
The same thing. When we travel, it's on.
If you're traveling for 2 days, you got to keep your food cold.
Yeah,
right?
And I keep mine set to auto.
Yep.
When we disconnect, it switches over to propane. And honestly, if the door's not open, it's really not running.
No,
because all your food's acclimated to the interior temp. And I mean,
it's very seldom going to fire up if you're not opening the door.
Yeah, and there's so many safeties. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's just like people asking, hey, can I run my furnace across the north in the winter when it's freezing cold to keep my pipes from freezing? Absolutely, but I do.
Yeah. Now I did have a customer, the water heater. They were parked in an area where the wind, their water heater was on the back of the RV, and the wind was just blowing right straight into the back of that RV. And within 3 days, it burned up 2 of the thermal devices that they're supposed to detect if the fire comes out of the burner assembly where it's supposed to be, and it'll
roll-out switch,
overheat that thing and shut the water heater off, kills the water heater, just shuts it completely down. And I had to tell her, I said, look, you're just going to have to run your water heater on electric till you leave this spot, because like I say, it happened twice in 3 days. And of course they expected me to fix it for free the second time, and it wasn't my fault. But so anywho, so Brenda says she's having a hard time finding a replacement gas 2-burner top for a DoubleTree DRV. Yeah, you know what? That stuff is tough, Brenda, because it becomes obsolete so fast. Even BC before COVID, gas stoves, cooking appliances were notorious to never be able to get parts for it. I'd have a name brand cooking device, an LP cooking device that was 2 years old. All the parts were obsolete. Couldn't get parts for it. So yeah, that stuff's always kind of tough. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they did that. Of course, it's worse now, AC after COVID. So
Driving with fridge on causes the ammonia to crystallize from sloshing around in the collectors. That's how the orifice at the top of the fridge gets clogged. Wrong answer, guys.
okay, we're just gonna leave that one alone. OSHA, you probably know a lot more about it than we do. So yes, you are correct. Very correct. So everybody, listen to Bossy OSHA.
Yes.
So let's see here. What kind of parts do you carry, and how do you organize them, and how do you carry them around to job sites?
Parts I carry right now is cell switches, converters, and I've got a couple furnace blower wheels, a couple
Okay.
gas valves, the TMP valves for water heaters, and I organize everything for the most part off of Milwaukee packouts.
Okay.
Which you and I've talked. I'm thinking about getting an enclosed trailer to build like a mobile shop out of.
Right.
Right now, it's just a 1-ton truck, so it's a Milwaukee packout. Seem to be working out the best for me right now.
Okay. You going to if you do a trailer someday, you gonna pull double trailers?
No. All right. So when we travel, my wife has a new Bronco.
Okay.
I can pull a double trailer, but from what I've found, in the eastern part of the country, it's highly frowned upon.
Mhm.
Out west, I mean, you can pull triples; they don't care.
Yeah.
But the Bronco has like a 4,500-pound towing capacity on it, so that would be way under the towing capacity for the Bronco. And then she could pull it, get to an RV park, and I'll hook it to my truck and move on from there.
Okay. I've actually had a customer for my whole 30 years that pretty much exclusively travels in the state of West Virginia from April through like October every year. Thousands and thousands of miles are constantly crisscrossing West Virginia, and a lot of them, it's a carnival, and a lot of them pull double trailers. They will pull their fifth wheel camper with the pickup and have a trailer behind it. And a lot of them do that, and they've been doing it for years.
Okay.
And
I mean, I don't see a problem with it, and if it's
yeah,
legal, go for it.
I don't know how legal it is, to be honest with you, but they've been doing it and they're still doing it. So yeah.
Okay. Brenda has one other question.
This one.
Yeah. I have a round door shower on the RV at the bottom. You have a angled T-seal about 1/8 of an inch that slides in on the bottom track. Do you have any ideas where I can find it?
Best thing for you to do, I know it's a little older RV, try and find out who made that shower door, see if they're still in business, and see if you can get parts. I know some residential shower surrounds use those same doors like a corner shower. So you might start checking your big box stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to plug an RV dealer here, but Moix RV, Moix in Conway, Arkansas, their parts department is phenomenal for finding stuff like this. My wife and I restored a 1968 Winnebago travel trailer several years ago, and they found every part I needed. down to the 1968 replica taillights. I mean, their parts department is awesome. And you guys can just Google them, look them up, give them a call, and if they can help you, I mean, they've got resources.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, there used to be companies that would do stuff like that for you.
She said the company is still in business, but the one that makes the seals aren't.
Oh,
But
okay.
let me ask you too, as a commoner here, when she's talking about that seal, is that something that you could go somewhere that produces seals or rubber and have them create?
No, that's customer service. Nobody has that anymore.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bruce wants to know, is that right? MOIS?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Michael works owns that place. He's a good guy.
Cool.
Okay, laundromat. Oh, he's talking. I have a 36-foot
okay.
RV.
Let me show this one first.
Yeah, there you
okay.
go.
I'm a little behind on the comments.
Yeah.
And a double toe, either my boat or my Harley.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, I see it occasionally, but like I say, that carnival, they probably half the people are pulling a camper or pulling another trailer too, and like I say, they've been doing it for years.
Oh, you go out west and everybody's doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody. We just spent 9.5 months out west, and it's nonstop.
Yeah.
You got a truck with a boat on the roof pulling a fifth wheel, towing a side by side behind it.
Yeah.
Yep. Turducken.
Yeah.
Turducken. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's all over out there. It's just a thing.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bruce.
No, I'm saying that's just a thing out west. There's so much double and triple towing out there. If it fits, it ships, right?
Sorry. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
No, I'm saying if it fits, it ships.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Brenda wants you to repeat that information, please.
I think she got it.
Yeah, about the Moix RV.
Moix, yeah. It's where did you?
It's in Conway, Arkansas.
Conway, Arkansas. Moix.
Conway, Moix RV in Conway, Arkansas. I get a lot of my parts there. They're good people.
Okay. So do you rely on them to get a lot of your RV parts, or do you buy a local dealer, or?
Well, the stuff I need now or tomorrow, it goes through Moix because I've built such a good relationship with them.
Okay.
The vast majority of everything else comes from E-Trailer.
Okay.
I'm a setup distributor with E-Trailer, and they can usually get my stuff in a couple days. So if I'm in no rush, I'll go through E-Trailer because they're a little bit cheaper. But if I've got to have it now, I'll go through Moix.
Okay, and get it overnighted?
Yeah. If they don't have it, they can always have it overnighted.
Okay. You just pass that cost on to your customer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got to have it right now, I'm not going to eat the shipping cost.
Right. Okay.
Because I can get free shipping from E-Trailer and have it here in 3 days. But if you need it now, and I've got to pay the $40 or $50 to have it overnighted, I mean, that's going to get rolled to you. Now, I don't mark the shipping up.
Right.
But whatever, if it's $40, $50 to get it shipped, it's an extra $40, $50 to you for the convenience of doing it now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually kind of surprising that some people don't pass that shipping cost on to customers. Like, why not? So I don't know. I think that's
the only cost I don't pass on to a customer, and I feel like it's the cost of doing business, is if they pay with their credit card. I've got to pay like 2.75% or something of the sale to the credit card company.
Right.
And really, it's minuscule. It's not worth dealing with it. It's cost of doing business. I'm charging them mileage to go there and back. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm still making money on the deal. I mean, granted, I lost, $4 on this sale in credit card fees. I know it adds up at the end of the year, but to me, that's just a cost of doing business.
I was the same way until the first year that I took a lot of credit cards, and I took over $60,000 in credit cards that year. So that kind of hurt. So I actually started charging a fee for the credit cards.
Well, if I get to doing that much business, I may reevaluate things.
Yeah, you probably will, because when I saw that statement at the end of the year and saw how much fees I'd paid on, it was a little over $60,000. I'm like, whoa, that hurt.
Yeah, 3%. That's a chunk.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, Brenda, shipping is getting ridiculous.
Yes, and it gets worse. Like everything else, it gets worse every day. Yeah, shipping. Because I just heard, I don't know if you have an account with Domatic, but probably around the time of COVID, Domatic changed their shipping, their whole structure on the cost of shipping, and it went crazy. And I just about quit ordering parts from Domatic because NTP, Stack Parkway, handled Domatic parts, and their shipping was much more reasonable. But I heard from my local dealer that Domatic just first of the year restructured again, and the shipping fees from Domatic are even worse than they were.
Really?
So
No, I don't order direct from them.
Yeah, I can't.
Or I haven't had to. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine what's shipping now from Domatic.
Like I had a water heater the other day. It was a Suburban. I don't remember the exact model number, but there was two model numbers. One of them came with the relay for the switch inside your RV, and the other one did not. And there was $200 difference because of shipping, because they had the one without the relay, but the one with the relay was an extra $200 for a $450 water heater.
Wow.
So I got the one without the relay, took the relay off the old one, put it on the new one, and was good to go.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's you got to use your brain a little bit when you're out there shopping.
Yeah. Well,
I had to replace an air conditioner on an RV. If you wanted the white one, it was $300 more than the black one.
Really?
Same air conditioner, just a plastic cover.
Wow.
Simple phone call to the customer. You want white or black? Man, I'd take whatever. All right, I just saved you $300.
Right.
If you'll take the black one.
I've done that. I've run a situation where somebody wanted a white air conditioner, and they didn't have them. They had black ones, and I called the customer. Hey, they don't have white. Might have some in 6 months. Would black be okay? Black will be fine.
And the whole, I seen it a year or two ago going around the internet, but everybody spray painting their air conditioners white because it was more efficient and saved them money and it cooled better. That does not work.
No.
The difference is unrecordable. 26 years in the HVAC field, I'm telling you, it's unrecordable. I could get my best test equipment, go out there, and I can't show you a lick of savings different.
Yeah. I don't know what that's all about.
She's telling you what she does.
Yeah, but what about?
And Lauren's saying, have you ever tried a cheap architect?
I've never used an architect.
I've dealt with a bunch of them, but I've never needed one.
Yeah. Me either. Well, let's see here. Have you ever gotten a situation where you actually kind of needed to leave an area to go to a new area, but you were waiting on parts and had to kind of hang around to get some parts and get somebody going?
No. If I diagnose a unit and I can't get the part in time because we have a deadline to leave, that's really not been a problem. The problem normally is the customer has to leave before you can get the part.
Yeah.
You know, they're swinging in for a night or two to just rest, refuel, get some laundry done, get on the road, and they've got a problem. You go out there and go, hey, I can have the part in 2 days. I'm sorry, I'll be, 500 miles from here in 2 days.
Right.
And there's nothing, you just give them, this is what you need,
Right.
and send them on their way.
Right.
But me, I can always hang around for a little bit longer if I need to.
Okay. Yeah, I've done the same thing. I've diagnosed a ton of RV issues and sent people up the road because they don't have time to wait for parts. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least they know what's wrong when they get to where they're going. And a lot of times I'll tell them, well, call ahead, see where you're going, see if the dealer has the part. If not, have them go ahead and order it. That way, when you get there, they'll have the part and be ready to fix you up.
Yep. Like I had one not long ago. It was a Class A. The hydraulic stabilizer wouldn't come up. The solenoid for the hydraulic pump was stuck. And as soon as he turned the rig on, it just pressurized the hydraulic system. And that he was in a hurry. He had to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I got him up for him, disconnected the solenoid, the whole bit, got him on the road with a part number for got to where he was going.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Seems like we got some architects in here.
Yeah, apparently.
It looks that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Design a better RV.
Sometimes they just get in their own conversations over it, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
That's perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, you guys have at it.
Yeah. So you were an industrial service tech for a lot of years.
About 2.5 decades.
Is there a couple of jobs that kind of stand out, good or bad, or?
Oh man, there was so many. Seen a lot of really cool stuff. Our largest hospital in the state has got variable frequency drives on their chill water pumps, and they're refrigerant cooled. So these are 36-inch water lines that run all through this hospital. Because the way we did is we made cold water, we pumped the water through the buildings, went through the air handlers, and that's what cooled the hospital. And overnight, the solenoid valve for the cooling system on the VFD. Now this is like a 2,500 horsepower variable frequency drive. The next morning, when the pump went to start, it had condensated inside that drive because the valve was stuck open. And when that hit 4,160 volts, it blew that electrical panel out over the mechanical room. And it took 36-inch pipe and did it like the wave.
Wow.
It was nuts. I've seen boilers blow half a buildings off, and I've seen air compressors, 1,000 horsepower air compressors, and I mean it's an amazing field to be in. You really get to see some cool stuff and work on some cool stuff. And me particularly working for Carrier, I flew around the country a lot, working on federal buildings and military bases, and a lot of that stuff is highly custom built. One of the brands that I worked on, the compressor ran off of magnetic bearings, and it took 1 amp to start a 400-ton compressor. If it detected over 1 amp, it would shut down and think it was locked up.
Wow.
And it would cruise at around 50,000 RPMs.
Wow.
Yeah, and quiet. I could have a 500-ton machine sitting right here in my living room with me right now, and we could still carry on this conversation.
Wow.
A lot of high voltage stuff. I've seen starters when they go to hit to turn the compressor on. They blow up so bad it trips the earthquake switch to the buildings and shuts power and natural gas and everything down. And yeah, I mean, you get to see some pretty cool stuff. Like I said, 26 years, man. It was a good career.
I can't imagine trying to diagnose some of that stuff.
Well, and that's where a lot of the younger guys in this business would get into it. they'd walk up and the electrical panel on this thing is 20 foot long and 12 foot tall, and there's miles of wire and boards and everything in it. That's not your problem. It's that one piece in there that's your problem. And,
Yeah.
and that comes with experience and diagnostic skills and just going, this is not my problem. This little piece over here that had a loose wire on it and shorted out.
Yeah.
And speaking of loose wires, that was one thing that I'm seeing a lot of is loose wires in the electrical panels in these RVs.
Yep.
Nobody ever thinks to just tighten them up.
Yeah.
I mean, these things are a rolling earthquake going down the road, shaking and beating and banging. And, when they take those copper wires and they tighten those set screws up at the factory, and then they go from Elkhart, Indiana to, whatever dealer you decided to buy it at, the whole time it's shaking down the road, and then you purchase it and you're driving it. And that copper wire is compressing. So the torque on that screw is getting looser. It at a minimum once a year, just grab a screwdriver, kill power to the RV and tighten it up, or call a mobile tech out. Price depends on your area, but I mean, my labor rate here in Central Arkansas is $125 an hour.
Yeah.
Pay me $125 and I'll come out and I'll tighten all your electrical up, and then you've got me for an hour. If there's anything, if it takes me 30 minutes, I'll inspect your roof.
Right.
You've got me for an hour. I'm not going to roll up, do a 5-minute job, and charge you $125 and then run off on you, because I see that all the time. I called this guy out. He was here 5 minutes, cost me $200.
Right.
Well, while I'm here, what else you got? If you don't have anything else, I'll roll on. But if you've got something, you've got me.
Right. A really quick, funny story about the VFD, a variable frequency drive. I worked for the first 18 years I was in business. I worked at a ski resort in the winter. When the RV business would slow down, I would work at a ski resort, local ski resort here. And we had six or seven water pumps that were in series, and one of them was a VFD. That's how they pumped. They could pump, I forget how many, hundreds of thousands of gallons a minute up that mountain, spread out on the mountain and make snow. But one of the pumps was marked VFD on the pump and on the drive. And for years, I thought the volunteer fire department has their own pump. Why? So if something catches on fire in the summertime, they have access to that pump and they can turn it on and put the fire out. I really thought that was the volunteer fire department's pump.
No, it's variable frequency.
I know that now, and I learned that. But for years, I thought the VFD was the volunteer fire department pump. So.
No, they usually run a pressure transducer off of them, and then they just try to maintain a pressure on the system by variable the speed in the pump. So I think we missed one here. Fryer RV repair. No, not really. So we were in QuickBooks Pro, and you just, when you get to a new area, you find their local tax code and you put it in there, and then it automatically figures everything for you, and it sends your taxes to the federal government and all that. It does it. It's a really great service, and I don't remember what it costs per month, but my wife deals with all that. But no, you find out the local tax code for where you're at, you put it in there, and then people smarter than me at QuickBooks sends them the checks.
Okay.
Lauren, you're right.
Hey, Dave. Well, we're pleased to bring the show to you. Glad you're here. If I don't think Tony or Tanya from VLRV or your friends in the RV business are still in here, but yeah, he just did a video on a loose wire that was causing all kinds of grief. It was one of the 12-volt wires in the panel.
Oh, it'll do it. It'll do it. They'll loosen up, and then you increase that amp draw, and it starts burning out your light bulbs faster. And
Yep.
yeah, you start damaging your refrigerator because a lot of people are like, oh, it runs on propane, and you still got 12 volt DC in there too. So just take time. Like, I don't know what your recommendations are, depending on how much you travel, but I'd say once a year on the average.
Well, just basically anytime I have to pull a front off of a power distribution panel, I'm going to go in and check every screw. Yeah,
right.
or there. Just grab you the correct screwdriver, and I don't have a torque screwdriver. I just torque it with that. And
there you go.
Yeah, and I just go in and a lot of times probably a third of the wires will be loose. So
yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like if it's got one loose wire, it's got many loose wires. Yeah,
absolutely. And then as simple as your breakers, just push on them a little bit. Make sure they're locked in tight.
Yeah.
You know, those things can rock out a little bit because, good Lord, I told you about that pothole that actually turned my breaker.
Go ahead and talk about that right now.
Okay, so I was going from Hurricane, Utah, and I know it's spelled hurricane, but if you go there and you say Hurricane, Utah, they're going to know you're a tourist because they call it a hurricane. So Hurricane, Utah to Page, Arizona, and we hit a pothole that just rocked everything. And we got to where we were at, went to turn the power on, which we've got a lot of solar, so we boondock a lot. And my wife's like, we don't have any power. And I'm like, oh no, what happened? Went in there. No, half of my breakers were turned off in the breaker panel. It hit the pothole so bad, it jarred the rig and turned the breakers off. And I never would imagine that. They weren't tripped, they were off.
Night, Dawn.
So imagine what these RVs are going through.
Yeah, when you told me that story, when we talked on the phone, I was like, "That's unreal." So yeah, I had it on paper. You need to talk about that.
Yeah, I've got it on my list here too. But yeah, it was a hit. It was a hard hit.
It had to be. So I guess we've actually covered number 11. What kind of RV repairs do you perform? So you're kind of like me. You're not doing any two-man job stuff anymore. How about remote sewer valves on the gray and black tanks? Will you?
Yeah, I'll do them.
Okay.
I'll suck up my pride and get under there. And
I've quit doing those too. Yeah.
I recommend they go back with electric when it's over with, because usually the cable's rusted up and seized. But yeah, I'm not happy about it. But I'll do them.
Do you always like to get that call that, hey, my black tank is completely full and I can't open the valve. Get here quickly. Help.
Yeah, actually, right now, as cold as it is here in Arkansas, there's quite a few calls that are just the valves froze shut. Where they've got a separate valve for their black tank and their grays, and their blacks are just froze completely shut. So, I go out there with a heat gun and do that. But yeah, if it's just full and it's a bad valve, that's just a bad day.
It's a bad day for everybody.
Yes, it is. It's just a bad day. It's a bad day for the RV park. It's a bad day for me.
Well, I've turned down those jobs just because they are in a park.
Yeah,
you're going to make a mess. And, we've got some pretty nice parks around here, and I just would not ever do that to the park. Now, probably.
And not just the park, all the other guests that are staying there that have to deal with the remnants of it.
Probably the worst job of my career was a customer that said her sink was backed up. And long story short, turned out she had a galley gray tank. She didn't even realize she had just a galley tank. And
Yeah.
once I figured out that it had a galley tank and figured out that it wasn't just a trap under the sink that stopped up, it was the tank was completely full. Turns out she put grease down her sink. She swore to me that she had never put grease in that down that sink. But I had to just pull the valve off the tank and reach back in with a stick, and over the next few hours drug out 30 gallons of rancid grease out of that tank just with a stick. And it was everywhere, and it stunk to high heavens. And we were in a park, but it was not a super nice park, and it was a bunch of people there working. So as far as the mess, I wasn't all that concerned. I borrowed a piece of plywood and a shovel and a bucket from the campground, and tried to catch most of it on plywood, shoveled it up into buckets, and we carried it off to try and get rid of it. But it was a mess. I told the customer while I was working, I said, look, you need to go to the Lowe's or somewhere and get some burnt lime so we can put some burnt lime on this to try and knock that smell down a little bit. And so she did, we did, and I never heard anything about it. But man, it was a bad day. That was terrible.
Man, I need to connect you with a buddy of mine who does RV tank
Yeah.
cleaning. You'd have an interesting conversation with him.
Yeah.
The stuff he gets out of those tanks.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, I've had black tanks full of flushable wipes, plumb full to the top with flushable wipes. And
yeah, there was one that they had just moved into an RV, and he was a traveling construction worker, and his wife didn't realize you can't use feminine products in the black tank. And yeah, that was gave him a hard time every Sunday. He was out there getting more and more out. Called Black Tank Sundays. So yeah. Everybody sat around with their beverage of choice and watched old Cliff dig more out of his black tank.
That's bad. That's bad. Oh, I'm trying to see if I got anything else on here we need to talk about, because we're already over an hour.
Yeah.
How about maybe a couple of quick jobs that stand out since you've been an RV tech? You told us about some that stood out from your other career.
Don't leave your awning out in the snow
or the rain,
or the wind.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a call from a lady. This was year before last. We got 2 foot of snow in Arkansas, which is something we don't get. And her awning collapsed and had her trapped in her RV.
Yeah.
Had an RV. They just left the dealer and had a new AC unit put on it. It had 2 AC units. They had the rear one replaced. They said it was working fine when they picked it up. They took a 300-mile road trip, and it wasn't working. Got up there. The wire was not even connected to the compressor. It was just didn't even have a connector. It was just kind of wrapped around the spade. Had one got a call for an outlet not working on a 6-month-old RV. Went out there, pulled the receptacle out, and the wire was tagged from the factory, shorted to ground.
Wow.
I was like, okay, we got to track this down and figure out where the short is, and it ended up being a staple in the wall. I don't know. I mean, they're all their own, each individual problem. I mean, you don't really run across the same thing over and over again. I just had one the other day to where they had used an extension cord from their, well, I sent you the picture, the picture I sent you. where it was just an old extension cord been laying out in the yard 2 years with an open breaker panel, powering their rig, and it fried their converter. So a lot of, now I don't do the cleanup on them, but a lot of, they turn their black tank flush on and then they go to their neighbor's RV and start having a cookout, and the next thing you know, stuff's flooding out of their roof, and you know, those are always entertaining to watch. And then I can't tell you how many people in RV parks went to pull out with their awnings out, and then I just go out and I go, "Hey, stop!" And they're like, "Goodbye," and then there goes their awning. You know, I pulled so many of those off RVs. You know, and then you go to the RV parks where everybody's just great and happy, and they're on vacation and living life, and I love to see that.
Yeah, I had one several years ago. It was when Cameron was working with me. Lady called and she said, "My door latch has failed and I am stuck in my RV and I don't have a screwdriver. I can't take the door apart. Can you help me?" And she was like over an hour away. I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I don't know exactly how we're going to get in yet, but yeah, we'll come. We'll get in somehow." He ended up sending Cameron through a compartment up through a bunk bed, and he got in with a screwdriver and took the door latch apart, and we got her. We rescued her. She was grateful.
Well, on the door lock, so I was at an RV park, and I was just walking around, and I noticed a guy out there working on his RV, and it looked like he was really fixing to do something with a hammer. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, I mean, everything all right?" And he said, "My door handle broke. I can't get in the RV, and my dogs are inside." He goes, "So I'm fixing to bust this window so I can get in there." He said, "I've already checked. All my windows are locked." And it was a Newmar Mount Air. And I was like, "Well, hang on. Let's look at this for a minute." So we get in there, and I'm using little plastic pry bars and stuff, and we're trying to jimmy the small window beside the driver, beside the door. We're trying to jimmy it a little bit, and we end up cracking that window, but we got the interior window open, so we could reach in, open the door, get him in there. And he said, "Hey, I'll fix it from here. I'm not worried about it." Then he calls me back and he goes, "I'm not mad at you because I was going to throw a hammer through the window." He said, "But that piece of glass from Newmar is $1,500. Well, about a month ago, I get a call from a lady at a mobile RV park down the road, and she was like, "I need your help." And she was frantic. She's like, "My husband and son are locked in the RV. My son's not able to get out of the emergency exit. That door handle's broke. Can you come down here and give us a hand?" And I was like, "What kind of RV is it?" She said, "It's a Newmar Mount Air." And I'm like, "Call a locksmith, ma'am. I'm sorry. There's a locksmith in town. I have dealt with this before. I don't know what to tell you. I can come down there, but there's absolutely nothing I can do." Yeah, they were locked in their RV, and the husband wasn't able to crawl out through the emergency exit.
Wow. Yeah, you run across some strange things, don't you?
Oh, had one the other day. Propane leak. Guy had another mobile tech come out. He couldn't find the leak, so he replaced all the flexible hoses and the regulators. No, he didn't tell me what he paid, but I bet he paid a pretty good deal. So I went down there, and immediately when I got out, I'm like, "Oh, I smell propane. There's a leak." And it was a fifth wheel, an Alliance fifth wheel. And I go over and I open the propane department, and I've got the gas leak detector, the little soapy stuff you spray. And I start spraying everything down. Nothing's leaking. I spray the relief valve on the actual tank itself. Oh, it's blowing. And I was like, "There's your leak right there." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" So I went ahead and leak checked his whole rig and everything for him while I was there. But yeah, it's just as simple as just the little propane tank. relief valve, run it up to the gas station, swap it out with another one, and let the propane
Yep.
company deal with it. I know that may be
Hey,
unethical,
you
but
got to do what you got to do sometimes.
before they refill them, they test them and
Supposed to
everything
anyway,
anyway.
right?
So. Yeah, that's their license and insurance, not mine.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, hey, Bruce, man, we've been on an hour and 15 minutes. Really appreciate you coming on tonight. Super glad we finally figured out this double live stream thing. So
Yep,
I
me
really
too.
appreciate everybody that stopped by tonight and joined in the conversation. And we will do another one of these with another special guest soon. I don't know when. And but yeah, so thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you for your wife helping us figure out some of the problems we were having. And I hope that you have a great rest of your week and be safe out there, all of you. And we will catch you next time. You got anything you want to say, Bruce?
Nope. I appreciate you having me on. This
Yeah.
was a great experience. Hopefully we can do it again some other time in the future. And no, and thank you for all the viewers for the comments and questions. It was awesome.
Awesome. Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's it. We're gone. We'll see y'all.
Night, everybody.
See y'all next time. Bruce, hang on. I want to talk to you.